What if I told you that the most exciting trade rumor heading into draft night doesn't involve a superstar, but rather a 23-year-old center who most casual fans couldn't pick out a lineup? Get ready to have your mind blown, because the Lakers-Jazz Walker Kessler saga is about to rewrite everything you think you know about smart team building in today's NBA. The perfect storm brewing in Salt Lake City just days before what promises to be one of the most chaotic NBA drafts in recent memory. A bombshell report has emerged that could completely reshape two franchises' futures. The Los Angeles Lakers, perpetually trapped in win-now purgatory, have reportedly set their sights on Utah Jazz center Walker Kessler, and they're willing to part with multiple draft picks to make it happen. But here's where this story gets absolutely fascinating. This isn't some last-minute desperation move. According to Andy Larson of the Salt Lake Tribune, the Lakers have been quietly pursuing Kessler since the trade deadline, methodically building their case for why this young big man could be the missing piece to their championship puzzle. The timing couldn't be more perfect for maximum drama. With LeBron James still undecided about his player option and Anthony Davis coming off another injury-shortened season, the Lakers are operating under immense pressure to make the right moves. Meanwhile, the Jazz are sitting pretty in rebuild mode, holding all the leverage and watching teams compete for their assets. The Kessler factor, hidden superstar or elaborate mirage? Let's talk about Walker Kessler for a moment, because this kid represents everything that's beautiful and terrifying about modern NBA talent evaluation. Standing 7 foot, one with legitimate mobility and shot-blocking instincts that had him averaging 2.3 blocks per game last season, Kessler possesses the exact skill set that championship teams covet in today's switch-heavy defensive schemes. But here's what makes this story so compelling. Kessler isn't just another big body clogging up the paint. This is a player who's shown flashes of the kind of two-way impact that can transform a franchise's defensive identity overnight. His rim protection numbers rank among the elite in the league, and at just 23 years old, he's entering what should be his prime developmental years. The Lakers clearly see something special here. You don't pursue a player for months, from trade deadline through draft season, unless you believe he could be a cornerstone piece. The question that's keeping Lakers fans awake at night: are they seeing a future all-star, or are they about to fall in love with potential while sacrificing proven assets? Utah's masterful asset collection strategy, meanwhile, the Jazz are orchestrating what might be the most impressive rebuilding strategy we've seen in years. They've turned their roster into a gold mine of tradable assets, and their relationship with the Lakers has been particularly profitable. Remember that Russell Westbrook trade that bailed out Los Angeles? That came at the cost of a top 4 protected 2027 first-round pick. And now Utah is potentially about to extract even more draft capital from the same desperate franchise. Danny Ainge's front office has created the perfect storm for maximum leverage. They're not operating under championship pressure, which means they can afford to be patient and selective. If the Lakers' offer isn't good enough, Utah can simply keep Kessler and see how he develops. If it is good enough, they add to their already impressive collection of future assets. This is chess versus checkers, and Utah is playing at a grandmaster level. They position themselves to win regardless of the outcome, while the Lakers are gambling their future on immediate gratification. The draft night wild card, what makes this situation absolutely electric, is the timing. The NBA draft has historically been the catalyst of the league's biggest trades, and the Kessler negotiations could trigger a domino effect that reshapes multiple franchises. With teams making last-minute evaluations and desperately trying to improve their rosters, Utah holds a premium asset that could become even more valuable as draft night approaches. The Lakers aren't the only team that needs frontcourt help, which means the Jazz could potentially create a bidding war that drives up Kessler's price even further. Imagine the Lakers thinking they have a deal locked up, only to get outbid by another desperate contender at the last minute. This is where the psychological pressure becomes fascinating to watch. The Lakers are operating under the weight of championship expectations and an aging superstar's timeline, while Utah can sit back and let desperation drive up the asking price. The extension equation here is another layer that adds complexity to this entire situation. Kessler is eligible for a contract extension this summer. The Jazz have to decide whether he's part of their long-term future, or if they'd rather cash in on his value now. For the Lakers, acquiring Kessler would mean not just giving up draft picks, but also committing significant salary cap space to a player who's never been a primary option. This creates an interesting dynamic where both teams are essentially making long-term bets on the same player, but from completely different perspectives. Utah is betting they can get more value in trade than Kessler will provide on the court, while the Lakers are betting that Kessler's development will justify both the trade cost and the extension expense. The championship window reality check. Let's address the elephant in the room: the Lakers' championship timeline. With LeBron James entering his 22nd season and Anthony Davis dealing with recurring injury concerns, every decision carries enormous weight. This isn't about building for 5 years from now. This is about maximizing whatever championship window remains open. Kessler represents exactly the kind of young, athletic, defensively versatile player that could complement the Lakers' aging stars perfectly. His rim protection could mask some of the lateral movement issues that come with an older roster, while his potential offensive development could provide a new dimension to their attack. But here's the brutal truth. If Kessler doesn't develop quickly, or if injuries derail the Lakers next season, this trade could look like another catastrophic mistake in a series of questionable decisions. The margin for error is essentially zero. The ripple effect across the league, what makes this story so compelling beyond just the Lakers and Jazz, is how it could influence the entire league's approach to draft night trading. If Utah successfully extracts multiple first-round picks for Kessler, it sets a precedent for how teams should value young players with all-star potential. Other rebuilding teams are undoubtedly watching this negotiation closely, taking notes on how to maximize their own asset values. Meanwhile, contending teams are probably reevaluating their own willingness to part with draft capital for improving talent. This could be the trade that defines how the league approaches roster construction for the next several years. The stakes couldn't be higher for both franchises involved. The moment of truth as we count down to draft night. The Walker Kessler situation has evolved into something much bigger than a simple player transaction. It's become a fascinating case study in organizational philosophy, risk management, and eternal tension between present success and future sustainability. The Lakers stand at a crossroads that would define their post-LeBron future. They can continue mortgaging draft picks in pursuit of immediate success, or they can show restraint and focus on sustainable team building. The Kessler decision will reveal which path they've chosen. For Utah, this represents another opportunity to demonstrate their rebuilding mastery. They've already extracted significant value from the Lakers once. Can they do it again while the window is still open? The next few days will be absolutely crucial. Will the Lakers' pursuit of Kessler result in the steal of the century or another costly mistake? What's your prediction for how this high-stakes drama unfolds? Jump into the comments and let me know if you think the Lakers should pull the trigger on this deal. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're as hooked on these draft night storylines as I am.